Now this illustration deals basically with the number of outlets that may be put on a branch circuit in accordance where the circuit is in residential, say, or we might also have it in commercial, but let's just look at it. Residential, notice, is to the left. And when we have a 15 amp device and we have our receptacle outlets. Now, if we took our 240.14J and we looked at A to the table, notice that we would use 180 VA per outlet. Now, if we took 180, divided it by 120, that's about 1.5 amp. But we can take, with the authority having jurisdiction allowing this now, we could provide, say, 120 volts times 15 amps divided by 3 VA per square foot selected from 220.14J, and we would come up with 600 square foot. 120 times 15 divided by 3, we'd come up with 600 square foot. Now the NEC would just allow as many outlets as you wanted to place on that 15 amp circuit within 600 square foot. If it was a 20 amp circuit, it'd be 20 times 120 volts divided by 3, and it'd be 800 square foot. But a lot of cities, as well as counties and states, don't go along with this. And they may have an ordinance that says, no, on a 15 amp circuit, you can place 8 outlets. On a 20 amp circuit, number 12 wire, you could place 10. We're limiting the number. But if they go right by the code, there is not any particular number in that square footage area as long as you don't trip the overcurrent device and the panel board. But now when we get into commercial, to the right, it changes. We know that we have to look at 220.14L, and we would take 120 volts into 180 VA per outlet that's listed in 220.14L. We'd come up with 1.5 amp. Now 1.5 amp into, say, a 15 amp circuit, you're restricted to 10 outlets if it's if it's continuous type loading. You're going to use them. But if it happened to be that those receptacles were used continuous, then 1.5 is usually multiplied by 125%, and you take 2.25 into, say, a 20 amp circuit, and you'd be allowed 13 outlets. So in commercial, it's based upon continuous use or non-continuous use, general purpose circuits, meaning either way, you could have 2 or more outlets on a circuit, but how are those outlets being used? So you can see there is a big difference when we design the number of outlets permitted on a circuit based upon residential type installations, comparing those type of installations to commercial or industrial illustrations. And that's what your figure 10-5A is illustrating to this point. Now we're going to go to the next illustration and get into this a little bit more in detail with calculations.